Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I know wherever you are in the world, I know I'm on this one late. That's my fault. A little bit of sleeping in combination with some gremlins I was fighting this morning, trying to get a whole bunch of stuff sort of figured out. I was hoping to have the chat CSS set up and do this YouTube only. It is on only YouTube, but it's still going through Restream, and I've got to clean this hat. And I'm also testing this out. I think I've solved the problem. We'll figure out whether that's true or not over the course of today's day. So not as many changes as I was hoping to make that substantively made it there, but a whole lot of tech cleanup in the background. And as a consequence of that, I was a little bit late getting the start going. So I'm going to have to get the start button going. I'll get the lineups up, digital program, all those fun things, as it is the 14th of January. Wrexham versus Barrytown, and the second half of the first part of the Adran Premier League begins with a match at the Rock. And I'm excited and happy to be here with you, and thankful that everybody's shown up and appreciated. Same rules apply. Women's match down below for free. And I suspect it's only going to be people that I know: John, Brandon, W and G. And I think that's it. I saw somebody earlier, but it's just not up on my chat. Was that M that was on as well? In any event, you never want to say should be an easy one. Mark especially was talking about, and I don't have, you probably hear in the feedback of the voice, was talking about the that there may have been some additions with the club with Barrytown, and so that this may be a closer game than the statistics and the history prove. We shall see if that is indeed the case. Trying to get the lineup in, so I'm going to do that. No Hughes. And so I'll do that while we're sitting here watching. Everybody else can watch this one while we're at it. And so we can, this is free on iFollow. Link is down below. I know you're going to have to type it in. If you go to the browser and you actually type it, put it in, the easiest way to find it is to click on, click on matches, then go to women, and then log in that way and see if that one will work. Maybe I should put that information down below so that it's more convenient for people to be able to find it. That would be prudent. Isn't it crazy? You take Rosie out and it's Lily Jones out, pushed forward, and Suckley just too far ahead, and it's going to roll. Lily's really grown into it, eh? And she started to do some more her game too. She can play. I can't remember which podcast it's on, but it's on one of them. Michael, how are you? Welcome. Yeah, so 2 in from Cardiff. Changes are on. I think that's going to be even within its own division. The signings from Cardiff, I would assume, because is Barrytown still non-professional, like not even semi-professional? The status a little bit unknown, but at least as it started the year. Oh, nice little ball right through. Lightfoot moving forward. Come on. Tackled in from behind and just nudged enough to be able to get it to the center back to clear it. And here they come forward. So it was just Cardiff City, Swansea, and Wrexham that were semi-pro. And so you anticipate that as, you know, the holidays came and there's a bit of a gap there, that there might have been some changes that were made to the lineup, some in, some out. So I can see some going out, and this would be one of the options that they would have available to them. We'll see if that's probably a question that I'd have to ask Mark or otherwise to give the details. Push forward and tough little touch off the knee. So much space. Still looking. If you haven't seen, there's a bumper edition of the Racecourse Ramble, and I'm using that for part of the Academy video, but they do give a little bit of an update there, John, talking about a 22-acre swath of property to end up doing development where they'll have a community center with offices, and then 2 pitches to start. And the idea being that the women would also then have a potential home that they could start at that would be playing from there in the not too immediate future. And Kim, thank you. This girl can play. That's my bad for not knowing. This is my brain's not firing this morning. To get them away from the Rock and all of the, I'll tell you what, between the Druids and Rex, what's the name of the other club that's there? It's not Wrexham AFC. It's FC of Wrexham. Something along those lines. There've been lots of controversies involving those teams. One involving some money that came in its source. Another one, everything to do with the shutdown of the club, temporarily or otherwise. Well, that's the thing, John, is they're still looking for it. And I was actually thinking, like, 22 acres, not that big. I mean, the park that's just across the street from us is 103. So it's got, I guess, a quarter of that, I guess, is the football area. And it's not just the football pitches, it's also got a stadium. So that's a healthy size. They were talking about Deso pitches and all that sort of stuff. Go and listen to the Racecourse Ramble. I think it's the most recent podcast. And Matt's got that stuff relatively early on in the podcast. It's a 2-hour podcast. And it's relatively early on, and you can get caught up on what was all talked about with Humphrey at the last meeting that they were at. And so lots of little tiny interesting details that we may not get otherwise. They should be streaming that. How many of us would log into that and stream the whole thing and just follow along? I've got an international membership. Sign me up. Ball over the top, chasing it down. Did I start the clock? Yes, I did. Okay. That kind of morning already. Into the penalty area, just knocked over, and it's going to come over to the right-hand side and fall out. Sorry, guys. It was just... So they're still looking, is what I understand with that. I'm still looking at both the Academy video and also the adding the cop stuff, which I was going through, and the 17 conditions that are there and all of the letters and correspondence from the government on it. As we come close into the box, we're sniffing around. We're putting the push on. Barrytown there so far, but not able to get through our midfield. Allen gives it away. 3 there and just walks up and easily intercepts that one. But, I'm obviously not from Wrexham, and all I know is where things are located from the maps and stuff. But you try and find 22 acres that's relatively close, recognizing that it has to be within a certain proximity for the academy purposes, because it has to be so close, a certain distance away, within a certain distance from the race course for the academy. That distance getting bigger and smaller depending on what category the academy is, and also what ages are there. Oh, I thought that was going to be a tough first touch, but it was picked up and easily handled. Dickens over to the left. That's going to be over to Lightfoot and pushing forward. Lightfoot and Suckley leading the charge with Jones helping out. Sorry, I'm just trying to get... I don't want to have to bring up the... No, it's not working. Everything's a little bit slow this morning. I was just trying to get a whole bunch of stuff done. The CSS stuff proving. So the only thing that really came is down on the bottom. You can see the members edition. I fixed up a little bit of the audio stuff. And I'm hoping, and at some point, I do want to add somebody into the chat, because I think the issue with the audio was as simple as this OBS software that I use. You have to load things in sequence, and I didn't load it in sequence. Yeah, there are, John, that there's like 300, 400 pages of regulations. There are job title requirements with lists. There's about 8 different types of documents that you have to forward out and create any given year and follow them and time schedules. And it's fascinating to me because it's sort of the level of bureaucracy you would expect from a national sport organization running a sport like Soccer Canada, USA Soccer. But it's not. It's the FA Cup and the EFL and FIFA with just this crazy list, an absolutely crazy list of obligations. And if you're category 4, then you have to fit with these 4 job titles. And if you go to category 3, then you have to add these 5, and it's got to be this quality of pitch. There's a whole 50 pages on just the type of pitch. Oh, skipped over top of her head, and we've got a chance there, but can't get there, kicked out. You know what? The only one that I've sort of been interested in is the Savage one. Oh, Lightfoot just got there as it was bouncing through the box. Like I don't want to sign anybody unless they're under the age of 27. Hey, Scott, I don't want to sign anybody unless they're under the age of 27 and they're improving to somebody in the lineup or have a ceiling that will get us there, right? A championship style ceiling. We've got a team that's going to get us to promotion. So let's look at players who we can test over the January window or the post-January who can get us up, right? Kara Jones all the way up, kicked over, and I'm going to try and get this bloody thing in here. Just 1 second. Ronan Hale is the Irish kid, I believe. Yeah, I think for Ronan, and I actually knew that without typing it. I was looking something else up. Possibility. The biggest question mark is quality of competition. Don't know how he's going to measure up, and that requires eyes on. He's within the right range. Whether he has enough quality, there's no way for me to know. I'd probably have to go to Andrew to get an idea as to, other than looking at the UEFA coefficients to say this league is better than that one. There's no way I'm going to be able to tell whether his, 3 goals or something like that. Long shot, and that was a cracker. Blasted that one just a little bit too high. Yeah, that European Super League was fun to follow along with until they ended up falling apart. Yeah, except it always depends on money with clubs like Barrow, right? Because if you're a seller and somebody shows up and says we're going to drop how many 6 digits on your lap, you as a community trust trying to keep your club going and don't have a large budget, that's opportunity. I'd be surprised at a year like this, but you also have to be ready to make the changes when you go up to League One. And if you're not, then are you really going to end up pushing for it? Yeah, and I know everybody's looking up front because it's sexy. That's not where our need is. I want some center backs with some pace. And the thing is January window, you're going to have to pay some money. Like get a couple of young bucks in and use the window for that opportunity. And that's what I'm hoping sort of happens. But I think I'm in the minority there. Full disclosure on that one. Suckley up there. She's just, she reminds me of Cannon, just a ball bully who just, it seems to just stick up. Yeah, shore up the D. If we're going to be spending any money, Tozer, I got into a big argument. There are lots of people who love Tunney and EOC. Tunney, I haven't seen in such a long time that you start to wonder, he's either as I recall, beast mode or non-existent. But I don't have a lot of love for Mr. O'Connell, and I know that that's probably not fair, and it's not his defensive play as far as like his aerial defense. He's solid there. He doesn't advance the ball forward, and how many times is he out of position? He gets inside shouldered every single game. And maybe I'm overly critical of that because it's a football and basketball thing. Like, and when I say that, Gridironers, we've got a player down for Barry here. I didn't see what happened, but she looks like she's in some real pain. But the ref is saying play on, and finally we just kick it out. Bennett going down, and while that happens, I'm going to take the opportunity to try to get this thing finished off here. So it's and I didn't look at this the crowd until just now. It does look like it's a decent one that's out there. And I still got to do the other squad, which comes up at the half or maybe at all. I don't know. Oops. Seems to be okay getting herself taken care of on the sideline as we're going to get back underway. And interesting sort of handoff to the, usually you expect the team to thump it back to the keeper and leave it there, but they don't do that. They didn't go that far back. I am also curious, the two loanees that went out, was it Cushfield, Owen Cushion, and Davis, the young lad who played a couple of cup matches. And I think he had one league game actually where he came in, getting their chance to go and play out on loan. So that's some great news there. Spearing is 20, and I've got this one done, so I'll be able to break that one in here shortly. I'm probably going to get cross into the box, into the penalty area, and we've got it and cleared out, but just as far as the front of the area. And dancing, they brought a lot of people forward as now we're chasing it down, and wow, danced around him. Well done by Lightfoot, who's pushing forward, and here comes the support over to the right-hand side. She's just going to beat her. Head down, ball forward. Gutsy. Suckley. She reminds me of Cannon so much. Like, just bully on the ball, Suckley does, but just that was dangerous. Ooh. Great little ball. Hayden has to be done. I mean, a coach, as soon as the coach comes out and intimates that you're soft, you're done. I'd be surprised if he's not out during the loan period, and probably just holding on to him to see where he goes. And I saw McFadden was actually the player who was despite the fact that EOC, Tunnicliffe, Hayden are reportedly all coming back from injury. Who's the player that hit the reserves, the substitutes yesterday? Sorry, the sub list yesterday? McFadden. Sounds like somebody's walking with cleats on concrete, but it seems, is that what I'm hearing? Or it's just a beat? I don't know if you guys can hear that. Sounds like somebody wearing boots. Yeah, McFadden being out. I mean, Bickerstaff needs to go somewhere, and I guess that's the only thing is what do we do with him, right? The only thing about McFadden, 29, right? If you're not going to play with us, chipped forward, and the keeper has to come all the way out. We're sniffing around 18 and a half minutes through. Oh, that's why it's not working. Sorry, guys. I'm taking the opportunity to do multiple things all at the same time, and I feel like I'm doing a disservice to the women playing and busting their hump out on the pitch here. But I just want to get this one set up, moved all the way forward. Just not a lot of continued touches from Barrytown so far. So we have that there. The only other thing, you hear it too, so it's not just me, is I wouldn't mind whether it's Brendan or otherwise jumping onto the camera system. And I can send a link out if somebody wants to join us for the half and have a bit of a chat. You can audio or otherwise, but I think I fixed the problem because now I can see certain lines moving. It should be on iFollow. That's how I'm watching it on iFollow. The only thing is you can't go through the iFollow stream. It's the weirdest thing, and Wrexham really should. Maybe we send them an email as to how. Sometimes it's difficult to follow it via iFollow because it just assumes you go to the men. Is to click on matches and then go to women and then go to live match center from there, and it should be brought up from there. Yeah, John's got it. That's the easiest way to get there. $5 degrees American. It should be on the main page with a direct link. Rob and Ryan are marketing geniuses, but the practicalities of some of the things around the site are -4 Fahrenheit. So your 0 is our 0. So that's -4 is like -1 Celsius. Is that right? Just off the top of my head? -5 Celsius. That's balmy. That's short weather. I say that. -11 here, which was nothing. Somebody I know who's up at a place called Punsey Lake, they had their thermostat Barry. I think it was registered at -50 something. I can't remember what it was. Setting records all over the place in this nasty. Stuck into the box, headed away, everybody in the box, and cleared all the way down. Nobody forward. 0's 32. Yeah, I should know better. I know better than that. -40 is -40. Which once you get to -20, 25, -25 Celsius, it all feels the same anyway from that point on. Moving forward, I should pull up, and I never looked at Barrytown's lineup as of yet, just because I was trying to fix the audio all day yesterday, trying to look at the videos. Somebody was sending me a bunch of tweets about the chant for Fletcher, and I was like, yes, I can put together a proper video, and I can't find the chant. So maybe I'll send you guys out there if you are bored and you are kicking around and you end up finding. So far, Lee, Palmer, and Mullen are done for the goal videos, whether that be men or women. If you find a chant, grab it. I've got one for McLean. I've got one for Jordan Davis. That's about it. So Dalby, Bickerstaff, McLean, Mendy, whoever you find. That was a nice little play over there to move it forward, and they're in danger territory here, just a little bit too far forward. Tried the shot, didn't come forward. If I recall, with Barrytown, is Barrytown the team that uses the same? They do. I won't be critical of that because everybody has their things to do. But I don't think they have custom jerseys. There was one team that was in yellow that. Suckley, just tell me that Suckley is not canon. You know what? Let's be honest. The entire imperial system leaves a little bit to be desired. Kicked out. 25 minutes is just blasting through here. So I don't know if somebody wanted to join in and test while we were doing that, because then that would solve that problem. I would feel a little bit helpful. And then chatting about, I should ask the question, as far as having the embedded chat here, if we were to go to YouTube only, injured, yeah, Jean's got it. Rosie's injured. If we were to go to YouTube only, do you like to have the embedded chat? Because it's going to be hard for me to stylize. It's going to take a lot of time, but I'm happy to do it. I think it's nice to have, because if you're on an iPhone or an iPad, having the chat up separately, you can go full screen and you can still see what's there, if streaming purposes or otherwise. How do you join in? I can send you the link here, because I've already got you. So I'm going to have to improve how I send this out, because even through WhatsApp, do I have WhatsApp on my computer? I thought I had the desktop, but I will get you. I will get it to you while we're doing it. Yeah, I'm going to have to improve how this gets distributed. And I did make, Brendan, if you didn't notice, you had moderator status. And so I don't know if that allows you to create polls or not. But if it does, that would be potentially helpful, to go ahead and click that stuff through. Anything below -25, M, you're right. It's I always get a chuckle. Why do I live in a place that hurts my face? Moving forward, Barry brings everybody back, but they have nobody forward. Like, they just go on a full complete streak. That was a bold tackle. Holy, because you either get that right or you get that horribly wrong. And it was perfect tackle. But talk about yeah, phone, Chromebook, both of them all work. It's just going to be a link to a. Oh, come on. It's one of those things, whether I get the link ready and I put it out and then I just send the message in private. If I can do that, I'm going to have to figure out how to improve this system. Somebody, that's not me with the fussy baby stuff in the background, is it? There we go. We'll get somebody set up there. John joining, it sounds like. Move south for a reason. Yeah, well, I moved west. I mean, I'm in the only area here in the Vancouver Island, I guess, in Canada that doesn't turn into the Arctic every winter. It's too bad there's so much controversy involving the team that plays on this ground, because I do love that quarry setup over in the background, and they've got something unique and kind of cool here with the rock. A little disappointing that it's sort of not working out the way that they necessarily like, right? And the other thing that I think I worked, I fixed that. And so we are all good. Into the good area, moved across. So little tiny baby steps as we move through things. And this was a big one, figuring that out and figuring out the audio, which took up probably about 5 hours of my bloody day yesterday. And is part of the reason that I'm a little bit wiped out. They really do have to run the ball. There just doesn't seem to be as much interplay. Oh, and they tackled back and away they go. And ooh, that looked scary. There was two players running in. You're like, they're playing chicken. They're going to end up colliding. Minus 35 can't be the record low in Calgary. I've been there when it's been colder than that. Maybe the coldest place in, minus 35 is not even that cold. The coldest day of my life was December 18th, 1995. December 17th, 1995. It was minus 52, not with the wind chill. It felt like minus 70. And at that point, your eyelashes freeze together when you're outside. So I had my arms inside and I had to unthaw my eyelashes. And I thought I might actually end up being record low for today. I might end up actually losing my sight. And we get 2 to 4 weeks of minus 40 every year in Saskatchewan, as we're talking more weather than we are the game at hand. And that's my fault. If you log in, John, and you'll have to let me know, just make sure you make some. Oh, I see that you've popped in there. How are you? I can see you. You want to say something to see? Well, hold on. Just wait. Go ahead and say something, John, and see if I got you picked up. Just gonna sit here and watch. I'm watching multiple things here. Oh, that was she onside? Looked offside. Mark says the same thing in my ears. I'm hoping that didn't turn off while I was there. Let's double check to make sure I've got the audio working. Take that out of one side. That's probably going to help. Okay, so I am connected. I've got sound there. I'm just not hearing you, John. CPU overloaded. It's telling me I've cooked it. That's on me. It'll get better here in a second. Let me close some things down so that I don't. Just give me a second here. We'll come back to you, John, in a second as I get to the game. I just want to close some things down here because I've been at it trying to fix this problem all night. And I kind of want to use this match and this opportunity, because if you can't test certain things unless you jump right in. And so it is nice to put a face to the name, though. I'll say that, as much as I guess I get the sneaky peek and can see John in the background on the one video, or on our control room, I guess you'd call it. I'm missing something. Something's happened here. Of course. I'll tell you, as far as the game, and obviously I'm listening probably more than I'm actually watching. Hey, Andrew, no score yet. Wrexham should be worried. I don't know if it's worry territory. I mean, I think we've controlled the balance of play. They haven't thrown anything forward. I guess the challenging part is you want to be able to maintain strides with the top two teams. But I guess Barrytown United, with only 2 wins all season, you want to make sure that you take your 3 points. But I'm not in panic territory right now. Right now? Oh, my computer's, the iFollow went down. I hate when this happens. It was 5-0. They have added some players. They've been playing, like, when they say park the bus, they've been really parking the bus. Everybody coming back and then just having to run forward. So not a lot of threats offensively. We just haven't connected. We're down our leading scorer, although Suckley, I do like her game. She's been sniffing around and threatening. So lots of time left. In true Wrexham way, things tend to happen late. All right. Once I get this in, then I'll be able to shut some stuff down and not worry about overcooking my machine. So I'm just trying to get little steps done live while we're at it. It's not fun trying to host, produce, all that sort of stuff. Long throw forwards, lots of red jerseys in the box, headed forward. I get a feeling 36 minutes that now's the time that something hopefully should happen here. Up over top. And this is what it's been. It's been Barrytown just searching long balls and pushing forward through the feet and trying to break out just on one woman breaks. All right. So that should work there. I'm going to go here. Well, we're talking NFL. That's why I was like trying to get caught up on who the coach was. I was like, was there a coaching change? And nobody's freaking out about it. What's going on? So Lily, this has been one of her maybe quietest games and some frustration. And Lily takes a moment to make sure that one doesn't go away. All right. Going back to the thing here. We're back. We're not cooked. So I can close this down. I'm hoping. Click that down. I see you sitting in the background, John. I've got full green for the combination. Could you just chat? I want to be able to see if your gain moves on this side. Yeah, see, and I'm not getting your gain moving on your side. So just give me a second here. Audio settings. don't think that's on my end, but I will be able to have a clear here shortly. Just 1 second. Okay, go ahead now, John. Yeah, because I'm not even getting you on the. This one might actually be on your end. We'll have to test with somebody else, which is still problematic for me because this is supposed to be an easy process. I've got Bo's test. My microphone, when I hit the test button on my control room, is telling me that I'm getting sound and I'm connected. I've got my audio, it's moving, it's telling me. I wish it would do the same. I have a gain that's next to your name on the control panel, and I don't see that moving. Yeah, log back in, see what happens. We'll hit the reset button here. And so it's just setting things up on the side. Cardiff, no score. I could go around on Twitter. W&G's got it. Pontypridd is up. Swansea, Cardiff, 0-0. New Saints, Cardiff, 0-0. Who is better as far as coaching, or who is better as far as this game, I guess, is the ultimate question. All right. Full internet and Wi-Fi, John. I see you there. Oh, and I think I can hear you. Hey, see, now I'm getting the bar moving. I'm learning. Yeah, perfect. And I've got you here, which means when I bring you in, I should still have you there and not have to use the headset. It's the weirdest thing, how finicky these programs are. So we'll keep you for the half. I've got 5 minutes before the half to try to focus a little bit on the game here as we go forward. But if the question that was asked was, who is better by Branimir? And I mean, statistically, if you're looking Wrexham and Barry Town anyways, it's got to be Wrexham this year. I mean, Barrytown's only had 2 wins this season. They're second last in the competition. Oh, that was a nice. Was she offside? I don't think she was. I thought that she still was back far enough when she rolled out. The thing is she moved so quickly on that curl away from the player that when the ball was contacted, it looked like I think she was still behind, but because she moved so fast, I'd like to see it. Are we going to get a look? Yeah, I got to go for a wider shot than that. No, I think that might have been on. Show me a better angle. 2 goals. Let's get one. Yeah, the game certainly we've looked more solid as well. Hoofed away. I'm just talking to John off camera, and I can see and hear him, and so everything seems to be working there. There's no fun working on these technical things to try and get them all figured out and solved because they don't show up anywhere. But it gives me joy to recognize that I'm learning and figuring out how all this stuff happens. I do want to, and I am going to reach out to some people today about the possibility of setting up on Saturdays. Won't be able to do it for the women's matches because we have to run out of the house every morning. We'll be doing that this morning to get the kids to activities. But I've got about an hour to give for the men's matches, and I think I want to connect with somebody in Wrexham, and I'm going to send some messages out where I basically host a separate chat after the game. So we'll chat for 5 minutes, jump into whatever we want to call it. If somebody has a cool name for, after hours, post-match reaction, something along those lines. The afterglow, I don't know. We'll jump into a chat and have somebody in Wrexham actually join and get match reactions live from the race course. And so I want to set that up. Scott, the scoreboard up here? Or were you talking the top this? Or were you talking the top of our offensive line for the women's team today, who's doing their thing? But I've got a couple of people in mind that I wanted to reach out to first to see is it possible for them to get out of the race course or on an away day, and just hold a camera. The Horde correspondent, who for the person that's live there, yes, except if it's joint, Lightfoot nicking it back, turning, got space, push it forward, no, goes over to the side. Suckley dances, cross coming in, was kind of a shot pass, brought a little bit close. Did that go out for a corner though? I think it did. Oh, are they doing match live streams? That I know that there's 4 of us out there. With that, if they have started doing match live streams, that makes 4 of us that have been doing them. So I guess if they're not going to games there, because I assume they're not live streaming at the actual game, because the way that Wrexham AFC has been handling that, if they're going to end up slapping some wrists, I assume that that's like a watch party. Woody, I saw there was a new. Go ahead, John, if you're. Yeah, and then Joe did one for the first time this weekend or last weekend. Joe's a frequent guy on Twitter who's been over to Wrexham a couple times. Oh, just under. She was just not enough of a ladder for the Whitefoot to get up there and no, I said Whitefoot, Lightfoot, not to get up there and knock that out. Just a little short on the header. So I'll have to check out me, my wife, and Wrexham. But I do want to reach out and find out, because I think would be really, really easy once I have the video stuff perfected, assuming that the data and the internet can handle. So Andrew, you're at Wrexham, and I've heard that they've gone up to 4G now at the race course. So that's getting better. It's not perfect, but I think that's enough to hold a stream. So we'll see. Yeah, that's Scott. That's what I was worried about. Mobile and Wi-Fi receptions are awful. I did hear that there was a recent upgrade. I don't know. I'm hoping. I wonder if that's intentional to make sure that people can't live stream all over the place. But for whoever's there to be able to jump on and get live reaction from a couple of people, that would be preferred. Uh-oh, trouble. Here they come into the box. Looking, push it over to the right. Whew. Pushed over the bar. That's called upon late in injury time here. Called upon to make a save. Oh, I know what I didn't do. Didn't go out, so it's still in there. The Weston's going to be going here at some point in time, and there it is. And so that gives me an opportunity to test this whole process, which if all goes well, I'm going to hit a magic button. It's not going to be perfectly set up because I didn't worry about the graphics and all that sort of stuff. But bringing in John for the first time, everybody gets to meet John, and I should have you on both sides. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
Oh, and I got an echo here, John but I assume that's probably just me.
Boston John.
There we go. No echo on my end. We're perfect. Boston John. And we ask everybody who joins, and Brendan did this. Francis did it yesterday. I tend to know. But John, your origination story, how did you end up? Maybe you could stream audio from Wrexham. It depends on what type of audio there, Brendan. But possible. But anyway, John, your origination story, how did you end up finding Wrexham? I know how involved you are with Wrexham because we chat quite frequently on WhatsApp. But how did you end up finding the team and falling in love?
Pretty much how everyone else did over here in the States, the documentary. I stumbled on it last year. I don't know when it came out, but probably a couple weeks in. started listening to, went to the website, started listening to Mark Griffiths on the radio. There was no streaming at the time. And I listened to every single game on the radio. And then it all just kept morphing into this. I got into the YouTube and found you and Liam Roberts and all those guys after the Boreham Wood game, after they got promoted. And here I am.
Excellent. It seems to be pretty much par for the course, I think, is everybody sort of just jumped in when they had the opportunity and found some way to do it. Do you recall when it was that you started, your first live stream and what game that was and that whole process? Or was it, generally when you signed in?
First live stream, meaning watching the games, wasn't until this year. Wasn't until I bought a monthly pass. I was on yours. I did your live stream. Matt SB was probably the first live stream before I knew you existed. I listened to he did the MK Dons game, and I knew him from being on YouTube. This is the only social media I do. And then I stumbled onto you and joined your channel, and I've been with you ever since. But I decided to pony up the money after. I think I started in September. I started with the monthly pass because even though I really don't have the money, I said, you know what, I want to watch these games. I'm tired of listening to them, and watch-alongs are fun, and I still do the watch-alongs even though I'm watching the games. But
right. I was messaging. I don't know if you saw Brennan posted there, and I tried to add it into the blurb, but I don't have the chat link into these ones, so I'll have to add it. But he says, well, these Boston guys are so good looking. So even though you two you two are almost like brothers in a sense, I get a chuckle because you guys go at it fairly good, but it's I think that's just the Boston way.
He's got a little more hair than I do. Brendan does.
Yeah, I don't. I wasn't prepared for a whole bunch of questions. I just think it's nice to be able to put a face because obviously we've been chatting, and I've cooked my machine as I'm going through all this sort of stuff and trying to sit things in the background. It's the worst opportunity for me to be live, trying to follow everything along while I'm also checking out the sides to find out what everything is doing and what I need to fix so that when we're finished with this, I can make up the upgrades. Myself and Wrexham, or my wife and Wrexham was one of the ones that people were talking about as hosts. As far as other people that it might be, if they were interested, Fearless in Devotion, Racecourse Ramble, Eat More Chips, Liam Roberts. I guess two questions. Who are your go-tos for podcasts? Like if there were things that came out, and why do you appreciate them? And I'm not saying that to be critical of others. We just all have different styles, right? One of my favorite podcasts is probably one of the not least significant ones out there, but not one of the most viewed. So I'm just curious, who did you like? And if we did have a post-match discussion, who do you think would be the perfect host for it?
Well, I like Fearless in Devotion. I think Liam Roberts was the first person I found. He was doing the vlogs, but Liam's kind of gone. I don't know where he's gone. I haven't really seen him much. He's I don't know if it's a big fat resentment against the club because of but he's got an opportunity with all those subscribers. I don't really understand it, but Fearless in Devotion, to answer your question, is probably the podcast I listen to most. The Aussies, I went to the thing that you had. I don't follow them. I follow them, but I don't listen to them regularly. I like Rob, Ryan, and Red. I'm not into my wife and Wrexham. I've never listened to any one of theirs. I think I might subscribe to all of them, but I listen. You're my go-to. Fearless in Devotion is probably the podcast. Dragonheart sometimes drives me crazy, but I do put it on. The audio's not the best for me anyway, but right. I listen to all. I'm like a sponge, Sean. Whatever I can get, I'll get, but if you like
Fearless in Devotion, I'll suggest Eat More Chips. Because Fearless in Devotion and Eat More Chips, they just remind me of, I might get in trouble for this. When Fearless in Devotion puts on about another 20, 25 years, I think it would become Eat More Chips. It's the older guys sitting around talking shop rather than the younger guys sitting around talking shop. And so it might be
familiar with that. I'm not familiar with Eat More Chips. My cardiologist was highly would not like it.
well, you're putting those chips through your ears, so you're probably okay. Brendan had a question for you. He goes, if you were looking at the team and talking potential additions, what position do you think is the one that we're most in need?
Stay away from the front and focus on the middle and the back. My primary goal, if I was in charge, would be to somehow I'd be talking to Arsenal only and focus on signing Arthur. And then if we could do that somehow, get him out of the contract and get him off the loan. If we could do that, that would be my primary. That's where I would spend all my money. And other than that, I would try to shore up the D. I think we're fine up front. I think we got enough right now. And and the summer's coming. I mean, I wouldn't worry about. I think we're good for League One as we stand. Shore up the D and try to do whatever we can to get Arthur.
Well, I was I was listening to Matt on Racecourse Ramble, and he does a really good job. I appreciate his insight because he has, I think, one of the better understandings of the nature of the competitions and the players that are involved. So when he's talking about the difference between the National League and a League Two player, League One player, what he says makes a lot of sense to me. And he was talking about the challenges in League One, that it's not just big center backs that are going to be able to defend. You've got to have somebody pacey and more rounded to serve in the back line. And so there were a lot of players he was talking about who just might not stick to it in League One. McLean maybe being one that excels with his type of game at our level, League Two, but might not have what's necessary for League One for a full season. So it'd be interesting to see that. I do see your message there, Scott, that you said DM. I'm going to check, maybe just message how you DM'd me, because whether that was in X. Oh, and I do have it here.
I honestly don't get all the striker talk, though. I mean, I think we're fine up front for now.
Well, you go back; it's the same thing before Max stepped up on playing, the right center back there in our 3-5-2. When you look at his play, prior to him, Hayden was going down. We had James filling in. We had O'Connell trying to do his thing, and our back line was a mess. We've cleaned up the one side through O'Connor, but we still had questions. And then you looked going forward, Fletcher's only coming in as subs. He's banged up. Palmer, just a little while ago, we thought was out potentially 8 weeks with a bad calf. Dalby, Bickerstaff haven't really filled in. Waters is now loaned out, and that was necessary because he's had the yips. And so I can see why people are like, Mullen needs help. But now you're sitting there looking at him going, Palmer's bossing things really, and Fletcher is a super sub, or as he's proven lately, he can come in and run the full 90. So to me, I'm with you on the striker stuff, but I get the questions that have been asked. To me, the back line is that there are more than one position that are struggling. And I've gone full red. So let me just, I shouldn't have. I should be out of most things here. So just give me. You go ahead and talk for a little bit, John, about that.
Yeah,
your thoughts on what I just said there.
I think Dalby and Bickerstaff have shown that they can play. They just haven't had the opportunity, and not that they're as good as Mullen or Fletcher or even Palmer, but I think they fit. I think they can do the job, and so there's five up there, and Lee, and we've already shown that Lee and McLean can fill in up there in an emergency. So defense wins championships, right? I'm a Patriot fan, I'm a Belichick fan, and pitching wins World Series, right? Defense, goaltending wins Stanley Cups. So to me, the back end, goalie, keeper, whatever you want to call it, is the most important spot to focus on for right now.
Yeah, you get no argument from me, and I hope I'm coming through here. Encoding overloaded. Consider turning down your video settings. I'm trying. It's fascinating. Once you get into this universe, it becomes difficult to get out. So I'm going to have to try and do something else.
Well, I can sign off and let you do your thing, Sean. We just wanted to test it, right?
I did just want to test it. And so let's do this. The younger guys are too busy drinking the pints. Yeah, for sure. I kind of want to keep you here just for a little bit longer, just because I want to see if I can do something to sort of as an alternative to sort of clear things up.
As long as you need.
Yeah,
I'll stay as long as you need me.
I hope the women don't come running out onto the pitch because I'd like to give them some attention here for a little bit.
Got my for Wrexham hat. It's from Etsy. I couldn't afford. This is my only. This and I don't have the gear you have, Sean. I bought this from the pro shop or whatever you want to call it. Shipping costs more than the T-shirt. That's my only Wrexham.
And coming to the US, did you have to pay duty on it? Because that's the part that I hate.
Well, I don't know if duty and tax are the same.
Duty taxes. The duty is usually a flat fee. The taxes are usually a percentage fee above the flat fee.
The shirt was $15 American, and I think the whole thing cost me $40 American dollars for shipping and duty and whatever else for a T-shirt.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, and I got this little. I thought it was going to be bigger print, but that's what you get for shopping online. But it's a Wrexham hat. It works for me.
I think I've got a solution, but it's not going to be one that'll work today. But I'm 99% certain that it is going to work. I'm going to have to probably bring out a chat control. It's settled now, and as I say that, I just see that my screen, I get all pixelated. I've got a lot of cleanup to do on my actual OBS now as the players come out, which will hopefully streamline things. But I've got everything working, so now it's just don't break it while I'm streamlining it. So I'm super thankful for you being here. The girls are coming out, so we'll jump off into that one. I will bounce back into the watch party solo, and we'll do this again, John, at another time. Anytime. And I appreciate you setting it up. Yeah, I appreciate it. All right, thanks, man.
Thanks. Take care.
Awesome. And I'm going to close this off, and I can't close that one down because I'll bring the order really matters. And so I do apologize. Yeah, it's all working good. Now I just gotta close some things down and get back at it. Is the big story of this one and today is that we're still in a 2-1 or a 0-0 match. Oh, and I didn't set the. That's how involved I was. I didn't put in the score, or I didn't update the. The frustrating thing with YouTube is that you have to test everything live with the chat, and otherwise a lot of things won't get figured out. Yeah, massive improvement, right? I am learning things. The problem is as I learn things, then I overload the system. Then I got to learn how to declutter the system. But baby steps, and I don't think we're that far away from really having all of the back of house stuff that I want, other than a touchpad to go things. But we need the girls here to pull one out. You don't want to be starting the second half of the first part of the series of the season with a draw here. So let's see if we can motivate the girls to get cracking here. There we go. Underway, pushing forward. Let's go. I assume everybody's watching. That's the thing about the women's matches, and maybe I should run a poll there. Brendan, that's a question I was going to ask for you. You as moderator, do you have the capacity in the chat to start a poll? Let me know if you're there. Trouble, Morgan, she comes out, grabs it, and turns it the other way. If you look at the bottom of the chat box, not the one that's on the screen, the actual YouTube one, if you're able to, you a nice little ball forward to Suckley. She's there. She's got time. She's got space. No, she wasn't offside. Tight, he says. That's the second time where Suckley, she's just too fast, turning her shoulders on contact and going the other way, I think. I'm never going to tell from that angle. The desperate look over the right shoulder from the defender looking for the flag. Please. Yeah, I'm going to have that. I'm getting frames missed due to rendering. It should clear up over time. No, and then just it went. It's going to happen because I've been playing with too many bells and whistles in the background. And I think I've got it down as skinny as I can get it. I wonder if, hold on. That might actually help it too. If I go to that format instead of running the extra videos in the background, I think that could clear it out. We'll get there. Eventually, this will all be on a little phone system where I end up pushing it. Jed was showing me one to pay for, and tech. You can't even keep the lights on, Sean. But I would be curious if we're all in the chat, if what you guys your go-tos are for podcasts, otherwise videos. And John, you were saying you don't know what happened to Liam. I know he did 21 videos in 21 days, and he did a transfer video, so he has been out there. But he's known for his vlogs, right? And then once the club came back and slapped his wrists, he did go on a massive spree, and he pushed. Was there contact? I thought that was a push in the back. Deflection that ends up falling to us. See, now we're a little bit more desperation, a little bit more gumption in this one, right? But that eat more chips, I wonder if what they would say about that is, I see if you like Fearless and Devotion, you're going to like Eat More Chips. If you like Eat More Chips, you're going to like Fearless and Devotion. Rob Ryan Red is journalist. They have lots of great guests, and they've got a certain spin on things that I really appreciate. Liam is a fan, a lot of love. You've got Teach Me How to Wrexham, and you've got Me, My Wife, and Wrexham, which are where I go when I'm feeling blue and need a pick-me-up, because they're the happy ones. Welsh Beast, Carl Roberts out there. So just wondering what you guys have and who you prefer going to. One video so far this year. Yeah, it could be school stuff. January, if it's on the same schedule, it's finals time. Maybe that's why he blasted out the 21. And here's a question for how bad Andrew Endor, and I forget who else was in Wrexham that said that the Wi-Fi and video was so bad. When does it start getting good? Like, how far away from the race course or the university grounds do you have to be? Does the university not have Wi-Fi through the whole campus? Is it just not public? Because that'd be Bush League. Yeah, and I messaged Carl a little while ago because he came out with those hoodies, and I want to send some support and grab a hoodie, and I just messaged him about sizing before I purchased it, and I haven't heard, so I hope he's okay. The Aussies are rolling as that ball just hit Pritchard and went out. They're into this. They're a lot more feisty. Looking at the stands, what would you say that is in the stands if that holds 500? 250? Is that what we're looking at the Rock for this one? But you had there, and there's people that they drop off all of the time, and I get it. Sometimes you go away and it's a little bit hard to get back. Good morning, Jeebin 99. Nice to see you. That's a new one to me, I think, unless I've missed you before or you're under a different username. As the nice thing is everybody can watch this on iFollow. We all are watching this on iFollow, right? I don't have to follow along and give you guys my play-by-play. Oh, there's Swansea City just went up 1-0 there. WG, and if you've got that, great. If not, I can jump on and get it. because it'd be really, really nice just to have a whole bunch of live couple match reactions, bring in some local people, some international people, everybody have a chat and a banter and a couple of laughs. Oh, it's not working for you either. Did you try, if you're not the second person, instead of going to iFollow, going to Matches Women Live Match Center? And I'm going to add that to the thing. And maybe I'll email at some point in time the club and be like, you guys really need to change your thing, because you're missing out on, like, I'd say it's like, okay, that's good for me to know, Brendan. I'll see if I can work on that. It was something I just looked at briefly yesterday. We've got an opportunity here, into the box, into the area. Defender knocks it down, clears it, but not all the way. Didn't work. Well, that's frustrating. Okay, well, maybe I'll pick up a little bit more of the play-by-play. I mean, 7 minutes into the second half, and put heavy push, but yeah, Allen went on a full run there from midfield, which on this pitch is quite the distance, and she just a heavy touch pushes it too far. Suckley with it on the left-hand side. Long ball, headed away. So we're searching, we're sniffing around. It's sort of like it's sort of like the men's match yesterday. Dragonheart final whistle, which really is the same thing, I considered anyway. The Aussies, you haven't listened to me, my wife. Me, my wife, and Wrexham, they're my go-to a happy place if I'm having a bad day, because they tend to be relatively chipper. And everybody has different styles, right? Yeah, local pundits out there doing his thing. There's enough of us. That's Racecourse Ramble, yeah. And Matt doesn't get enough credit for what he does, although he was away for a period of time. Now he's back with gumption. Like, he's sending out videos like every couple of days. And I really like the structure of his podcasts. And he gives sort of an insight into the on the pitch stuff that I think is a little bit better than most. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I get that. I would like to get my podcast stuff going again, and reach out to some more people and bring them in. Would be less fans, as I was going to do it with both content creators and also frequent people that come here, but it looks like it might just be reaching out to different people, but so many people do it. But the lives are easy to do. '54th minute. I am going to have to say I requested from my my wife, who didn't murder me after the coffee caper yesterday. I did pick up some more. That I was to wake her. She wasn't going to set the alarm because it was going to go off, because the boys got to get ready to go here for a whole day full of activities after this one's done. So I'm just going to. Yeah, the Men in Blazers one's interesting to me because they've also picked up the documentary cameras. And so they're doing a little bit of vlogging stuff, and there tends to be a little bit of content share in there. So it's interesting to me that happened. Offer wasn't given to Liam Roberts or View from the Stands. A little bit of added control there, maybe. I don't know. But just give me 1 second. I've got the numbers wrong on the starting 11 because I was like, where's Jones's number? And I had it wrong, but I heard the shout through the headset as I was chatting. I was like, oh, sure. I just take the headset out and oh, the woodwork. That would have been a screamer. That was amazing. Long shot, just missed it. Mackenzie with a beautiful strike and chip. Would you call that a chip? I mean, it wasn't a blast, but that was a gorgeous curling shot. Yeah, teach me how to Wrexham is he's like the friendly foreigner, and Up the Town was doing it for a while, and he's been talking about coming back. Sean Winter's been talking about coming back. I'm gonna do my thing, and which is probably going to be mostly hors d'oeuvre videos. It's interesting to me because you guys, no, Don, I don't think they ever did, and it wasn't just him; it was also view from the stands, but. I think it was because they were the two bigger ones that were making money that weren't sharing content. And so they decided to put a kibosh on it. Hey, Alex. Yeah, John, I suspect. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how things happen as this continues to grow. Do I push the envelope on some copyright things? A little bit. Do I consider it fair use, fair dealing? Yes. Do I particularize every single item that I end up using? Probably not. I get most of them. Do I sufficiently transform things? Yes. But are people going to potentially say no? Sure. And so, I don't know. I kind of want to get a scary letter. I write enough of them for a living. It'd be fun to get one that says, hey, you need to do a thing. And then I can stand there and go like, what would I tell myself? What's happened in the game is we're still lots of pressure. I don't think that Barrytown in the last 7 minutes has had any real pressure coming forward. We just missed with a glorious shot from Mackenzie that struck off the top of the post. We're probing, we're searching, we're putting pressure on. The possession's got to be, 70-30, maybe even more. And I just said, use the word probing, and I'm going to go for a throw there. Because that was Pritchard who just missed that one, and got kicked out. We're just not able to connect up front. Like, this is where missing Rosie, you can obviously see it, right? See, I've seen Cookie still come out with someone. Did he get shut down after the fact? Because that would be interesting. Yeah, they really wanted to control that stuff. The floodlights are apparently on, Andrew, if you're not able to listen. And for the first time in a while, Barrie United starts to push forward, but it got, well done. The midfield took control of that one, and they're pushing the ball forward, and away we go. Barrie constantly has numbers back. A draw would be disappointing, so it is both online and there, but I got a late start because right or wrong, I was using this to try and test a whole bunch of stuff and spend the night. And I think you guys will have to let me know, am I now synced up with my lips? Because according to my stats and frame rate, everything seems to be okay. But it has been a quiet match. I haven't seen how many people have actually been to the channel and are watching this one. We usually get to about 200, 300 views and maybe 30 concurrent viewers. And this one, 27 watching. So that's getting close to being normal. I didn't know that Millie got shut down, and I think that was one of the biggest complaints, was that there was different treatment. Because I remember Millie coming out with videos afterwards, and Cookie coming out and being like, see, that's not on. You can't crack down on 2 and leave everybody else open. But I haven't checked on it in a couple of months. But there is a way to push back, and that's to do a live international post-match reaction video with an international guy from the sidewalk. Brainwise, another day. Yes, no, I get that. Well, not oddly, it's just not worth their time to go through the exercise of banning those fans. Getting if you're a fan of Knots and somebody and you get a letter from Wrexham that says we're going to ban you from attending a Wrexham match, you're like, I'm the king or queen of the world. Oh, Barrytown through looking to threaten. Oh, push through. Dell comes out and grabs it. Well done. Well done. To be fair, we need, rather than a flop counter for Brendan, we need a messed up offside. I don't know what Brendan's thoughts are, and we haven't had the best angles to work with, but at least one of those offsides looked like it wasn't offside. Suckley has been playing really well. Cross into the box. Barrytown's there, right up into the front of the box, in front of the area. It's there for Lightfoot to grab it, but she gives it away. Yeah, and I keep seeing the tweets that go out that like, you can get a documentary camera if you want. I gave my thoughts on it when it all came out. It doesn't make any sense. I know that they're trying to protect their content and go after it, but you're as a club, you're losing out on one of the key ways to promote things. It was Liam's vlogs that really did bring me in. I made a video about that. Yeah, could you imagine in North America somebody coming up to me and saying, you got to put your phone away? Yeah, John, that's exactly the reason. Yeah. So Aaron Lovett comes in for Lily Jones. To be fair, didn't call Lily's name a lot. Just that one play down the left sideline that I can recall that she had, where she ended up losing it in the first half. Barry pushing it far down the field. The chase is on. Surprisingly, we don't have a lot of defenders back there either, as Allen's there and gets shoved in the back. Concerts with a no phone policy. Yeah, it's always a sign of how big you are, I guess, because you look at the people who try to control the content that comes out are those that have massive revenues from it and the reason to maintain it, right? When you're small, you love those, even the littlest tweet. Which, if you didn't catch that tweet about that We Are Wrexham FC, no, I should have looked up her name before I had this chat. Rose was her last name, because I actually quite enjoyed that thing. Evra Rose, 195 views. It was kind of a cool little. You hear Declan Swans and a whole bunch of people who do these old historical sort of chanting ones. It was kind of nice to hear a hip hop one. And if Scott's still here, that would be an epic solution. I'm gonna chat. We may have found a body. Oh, I think that one was offside if it bounced. Mark saying played around. Suckley just is I'll be honest. Lightfoot versus Suckley. That's usually the two comparisons as the sub for Rosie. And Lightfoot's on. She's just playing on the left, and trying to come forward from the midfield. Suckley, I would like her to be up instead of like keep Lightfoot in the midfield and bring Suckley up, because she's just dangerous. Another body in my building. No, Woody. I hope nobody's died. Froze. How long did I freeze for? I didn't get a message that told me that I froze. Am I back? More importantly. Am I back? Somebody? Anybody? I'll go to my YouTube channel. Okay, we're okay. Jed didn't see anything freeze. There's been a lot going on, but I've got an alarm system now, and an early alarm system on my OBS. It tells me what's going on. Jed sent me some potential stuff to help out with some things, but I think I've got a solution that works alternative to that. So we're getting bloody close. The big question, I don't know whether to run it in the poll, is the embed chat. Do we keep the embed chat or do we not keep the embed chat? Is it there? Header, it's there. Scores! Whew, that was not a pretty one. You could see that one bouncing around, and I was like, somebody's got to get it. And that was almost like the Keystone Cop-esque, as people were like taking the Barrytown ladies were taking swipes at the ball to try and knock it down, and it seemed like they were just missing it as it was rolling towards the goal. And so let's put that one up on the board. That could be a big goal over the season. Fruz is Norwegian for geek. Oops. I think she had a chance to hook it away before it crossed the line. That was hilarious. Just watching. It was like you were playing American Gladiators. You're running, you can see the things cutting in front of you, and you have to go past them. And that's what those legs were doing. It was just legs sweeping for the ball and nobody hitting it. John says, get rid of the embed chat. Can't see it unless it's on the TV. Yeah, and I get that. Suckley, I think, was the one who ended up scoring that one up. It was difficult to see with the mob and the bouncing ball, whether and who all got a touch to it. So now, change in strategy is now a little bit more press is on, and the subs are coming in for Barrytown. Jed, did you just log in right when we scored that goal? Jed, ladies and gentlemen, with all of the magic. Sorry, I'm just trying to see what's all out here. Throw in for us in the corner stand. Mark, I was hard to see. There was like a big camera on it, or what is that? Whatever the green thing is. We're running into Walsall issues, and it was Ava Suckley with the goal. Andrew just coming back to see the goals up. That the EF bull crap. They might have contacted the club to say, hey, it's something that you should be worried about, and we'd like to be worried about it. But I'm sorry, Humphrey. I don't buy it. You think Stunt Peg it has a deal with the EFL and the FA Cup? You think any of the people that are doing vlogs that are out there, there's no bloody way. English football understands marketing, or should, and the disservice that it does. If I'm Sky Sports or BBC, am I worried about my rights being impinged because somebody might end up having a couple of videos of a crowd scream and a crowd shout and a chant? Nah. Yeah, John's with me. There's just too much stuff the other way, and I'm actually disappointed if Humphrey said that. If I was in that supporters meeting, maybe this is why they don't have it for international fans. I'd be like, you're going to have to justify that because that doesn't make any sense. And now I think you're bullshitting me. Go for it, Andrew. May the odds be ever in our favor. Dal Morgan moving the ball forward down the right side. Lots of... I'm not... I think that number 9 just walked the entire length of the pitch with that weird gait. I should be watching the ball, I suppose. Cleared out. Didn't know who got the throw. We're getting the throw. Good for us. Carry on. Yeah, it's interesting how you end up getting the different splits and divides and all that sort of stuff. Giveaway handball. It's tough for me to tell with the angle. And I'm wondering, for anybody who's been to the Rock, are they using the AI up top, or is that somebody who's actually in control of that screen? Or is that just AI following the ball? I've been wondering that for a while. I'm going to try and bring something up and see if I can carry it without going all pixelated and messy. We'll see what happens. And I want to be able to bring the poll up as well. Well, that's what I mean. Now they give it to Tommy because Men in Blazers is involved, and that stuff's going to end up in the documentary. And it's just like, why? And it wasn't, to be fair, I don't think Liam was really given the chance. They just said, this is how it's going to be. He did put out 21 videos in 21 days. But I could see why he probably did that, maybe with exams. I don't know what's happening, then pushed it back. So pop out chat. Yeah, I'm a Liam fan for sure. Pace. Is this that number 9 who was taking so long going the other way and then just blasted all that energy? Holy crud. Was that number 9? It was. So Shanahan, she'd been moping down that sideline the entirety of the game. She gets one chance to bust her legs out, and she took it. She was flying. Well, tripped her up. The yellow card. That's not so much in the nature of the foul, but in the frequency of the fouls. It was time to end up curbing her behavior. Yeah, they take possession of everything legally, which I find fascinating. Well, that's just it, John. I like, when we think about it, how many people are they going to end up losing because they didn't get pulled in? I mean, it was really the vlogs that were out there, and Liam had the most of them, that were like drew in and made the connection from documentary to football fan, and they've lost that pathway. Full stop. 75 minutes, 15 to go. Haven't had a lot of stoppage time in this one so far. More in the first half, and almost got playing advantage. That was because the player told him that she'd done something that should that maybe justified a penalty. But not for the purposes of encouraging people, right, Don? Non-motivational. Who's the Red Horde? We are. He does have 20,000. So I'm going to put this post out there, start a poll. And I'm going to say, keep the embedded chat or lose it. We are Horde. Now it sounds like Star Trek and we're the Borg. And I should say still be able to chat. And so I'm interested in what you guys think about this and having the embed chat. It allows me to increase things more. It loses some of the functionality. It may lose out on some of the appeal and the feel, but I'm happy to see that you will be assimilated. Keep the embed chat. Go back to just YouTube chat only. Start the poll and let you guys do your thing. So there was a question. What do you mean by embed? You mean bottom right? Yeah. So on the monitor itself, the embed chat is the stuff that you can see directly. According to my reverse, it's on this side right here. In the blue, the YouTube chat is the one that you actually are typing into that shows up on the side. The benefit of the embed chat is if you're streaming it on TV or you've got it on your iPhone, it's just easier to follow along and have it on the embed chat. But there's going to be some people that don't have. That was a nice little ball. And Suckley, was that Suckley again? Oh no, that was Jones pulling the Suckley spin move. They've been practicing that one, that little drag back, and Jones comes back and bosses her off. Ooh, she owned that one. I hate reading glasses. Don't we all, Kim? That's the joy of us getting old. Yeah, it's just, I know that some people just like seeing it there. And for some people, completely selfishly, just, oh, 1 second. They don't chat via TV, but some people just like to have the stream running without actually chatting, right? Or they use a device to stream to their TV. I've seen all sorts of setups that people have sent me. So Jed just thinks it's duplication. I can get that too. Part of the reason that I would lean towards pulling it is if I end up getting somebody who needs to be moderated, it's really easy for me to remove it from the chat. I'm a little bit concerned about if it's the embed chat. We'll see. Maybe I just give it a shot. I mean, it's 62% to keep it. It wouldn't be too onerous of me to build up another template and try and do it without. As we're sitting 80th minute, 10 minutes left, up 1-0, a much closer game than we suspected and anticipated here. And there's a long shot, but Dells should have that one. Well done. Woody says it's easier to see if it's embed. Yeah, G-Bin, I'm with you. Let's add a second one. Headed away. Good for us. We'll take that. Slowly now. Daryl, a new supporter. Thank you. I'll add the little feature I've got down there. But well done, and welcome, and I appreciate you. And I don't know if we've chatted before, to be fair. So I'm hoping to get to know you as we go through here. What I really should do is probably do some testing stuff with the members and just bring them in, and we can all sit there and chat too. This poll would not be accessible to people who might need the embedded chat. Don't know what you mean, Skull. I guess there could be some people who, I mean, we're only on YouTube for this one. I use Restream. I may end up just moving all the way full over. The nice thing about Restream is it allows me to connect a little bit with people easier, and it's a nice little backup insurance safety thing. And 2-on-2, and Dell, she just comes out and she's going to handle it and grab it, and away we go. But welcome, Daryl. Unless it stops you, it doesn't really stop me from doing anything, Andrew. It's just for convenience purposes, and for anybody who gets excited by seeing their name in lights, it adds the video component to the actual screen there. But I think it's accessible in the chats, but you can't click on the video to vote in it. Is I think what they're saying. Yeah, that's that, and I get that message. They'd have to grab their device or however they were streaming it and be able to vote. And if they were watching on the YouTube app on the TV, they wouldn't have it. But I don't think they could. Well, that's got to be a yellow at least. Red card? No, yellow. Not fully cleared. I think that was right because you have to measure where the defenders are. And there was a defender that was over there that may have been able to get back in time. Yeah, John, and I think I'm one of the, like, the scoreboard with the out of town scoreboard, and I mean there's other stuff. I like our little setup that's happened here. So John, you'll have to tell me in a chat message how you do your voting and how you've got it set up, and if you've got it on through a YouTube ad on a smart TV or something. We'll talk afterwards. Long ball in, keeper there. Seven minutes away, 6.5 from finding out how much extra time we have. Barrytown pushing forward down the left side. And thumped. Whitefoot to McKenzie. McKenzie getting it back. Lots of possession as Barrytown coming forward now on the press. Moved all the way out wide to Lovett. Lovett gets a push. Sends it back. Gibbard moving it over to the right. Okay. Whoa, a little bit too far. No, So that was Lovett just with a bad first. No, I wouldn't even call it a bad first touch. It wasn't a bad one, just pushed too far forward. And then the interplay, the overlap, missed out. It'd be nice, and I'm gonna probably work with Brendan and maybe somebody else on the side, but have somebody else who can do the post thing, and potentially even pulling in the chats like this. But that could be an exercise. It's now mostly everything's all set up. It's just improving the production side of things. The only change is if we are able to find somebody to do that hour post match, I think that'd be a lot of fun. There's Twitter spaces out there and people are doing things, but nobody's doing anything live. And in fact, I don't think anybody really around is doing a sort of live post-match reaction. You see lots of people do it as a vlog and then go home and edit it, but this would just be people being like, what do you want to say to the mob? And there'd be some international fans. I think it's a nice way to connect the international fans to the games, because you're watching sort of everybody coming out of the barn, out of the stadium, screaming, yelling, good things, bad things, whatever is necessary. Love it. Looking to throw it in 4.5 minutes. McKenzie goes sort of up in the air and she turned, and McKenzie got twisted around, lost that one. McKenzie over to Whitefoot. Or not Whitefoot, Lightfoot. Is that Lightfoot? I guess it's Christmas break, so her hair got really long. switch over to the right side. They're definitely at it and buried. I mean, your team desperate for points. If you're Barrytown, you're 1-0 down away to Wrexham. You're putting it like, and you can see like that was a tough, like they put everything into that challenge trying to get that one out. Yeah, it was scheduled to start at 7:15. So, I mean, it looks largely Pontypridd though. I gotta go back to the Genero table before I say anything foolish. Is it still Pontypridd up on Aberystwyth? Aberystwyth? Yeah. I can hear my munchkins are up and getting there. Yeah, I don't know why they started that one late, but the table. Yeah, Pontypridd 0 wins, 0 draws, 9 losses. And they have an opportunity to take out Aberystwyth, who's probably starting the second half, the second half of the first part of the season, hoping to be able to catch the New Saints. Falling to Pontypridd, that's gonna hurt. Thanks, Daryl. I appreciate that a lot. I'm still learning about the positions and all that sort of stuff. And one of the challenges, and I've been doing it, and I may end up over the summer wanting to take a coaching course or 2 or 5, just to understand some of the more optic stuff, like 3-5-2, 4-3-3, 4-4-2, pros, cons, strategies against. I mean, I know them generally, but see if I can take that to a higher level. I just don't have enough experience like I would in most sports that are popular in central Canada: hockey, gridiron football. But no, I appreciate that. Minute and a half away, extra time. What do we think? 3 minutes? Not a lot. You had a goal. You had a couple of minor injury time, little breaks, but nothing really substantial. There was more in the first half, and they only had 2 minutes then. So I can't see it being more than 3. One of us. We're still going after it, though. Move forward. Hey, get moving back, ladies. Gibbard working, but gets past her, and that deflection that goes right into the open territory into a Barry foot. Look, good. Whew. That's one of those ones where whenever you see a deflection, it lands on the opposing team's boot, you get worried because you're like, where is everybody? Because that was an unexpected move that just ended up happening because of the deflection. Into the box. Good on Barry for putting pressure on as it's now kicked out to the midfield and they gain control. Played forward a hair. Lots of space. Large charge. Is she going to get out to the left? No, she's just going to maintain possession, moving forward into the penalty area. Anybody. Lays it back, blocked, tripped down. A little bit of a shout, but no call. That would have been unfortunate. Couldn't have been a penalty. Oh, and a giveaway. Don't be. That's got to be a foul right on the edge of the area. Free kick on the edge. I said penalty. Free kick on the edge. Not so much intentional as desperation, I think. And that's Alan, the captain, who got twisted around and it kind of bounced around, and then she just flailed with the left. That's a yellow at least. Yay, Woody. Yeah, John, it's all right. I said to you yesterday, I like it in women's hockey when either the U.S. or Canada end up losing, and especially to Czechia, who have never really been up there. Highest they've been seated is 5th. So yellow for her for that. I think that's fortunate. It was a little bit reckless sticking that back heel out there. Yellow was the right call. I think Karen's okay. Is she going to have to go off for her 30 seconds here? Walsh from Cardiff lining up on the spot. Allen's got to go off, so temporarily down for 10. That's just dangerous. 3 in the wall. It just looks so spaced out. Walsh right-footed. Under the wall. Still bouncing around. Oh. Didn't score, but my word. That was it was almost like the goal that went in on the other side where everybody was missing it. It was the same thing. The ball was low, shot across the entire thing, and everybody took a whack at it. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 people end up having a swing at it, and they all end up missing it. This is going to be a great angle. And deflection and miss. 4 girls right there. Just, oh my days. Well done. Get it to the corner and just set it down. 4 minutes of added time is what they put up. So we've only got a minute and a half left, plus the extra time for Karen being down. Yeah, that's a good one. and all of a sudden he's a little bit more tolerable, right, Andrew? Late sub in. Spearing coming in for Libby. And finally the throw. I think we'd probably have at least another 90 seconds here, even though we're... Oh, no, sorry. It should say 2 minutes. It's a minute until we get to the 4th minute, but I think we've had at least a minute since then. Bouncing around in the midfield, but Barry's able to come away with it and just scrambled. Not for lack of trying. Oh, and they come out with it again. Put your head down, ladies, and get back. Here you finally there. Ooh, love it. Just stands there. Says no. I am the wall. Who was that? Was TJ Dickens? That's not Dickens, is it? Is that number 9 again? I haven't been impressed by her if that's her down. So much drama. Oh, but you know what? Okay, she took a ball to the face. I'm okay with her being down for a little bit here. Who was that came flying back? Was that Dickens, TJ? I didn't think that she was somebody wearing her jersey number. I don't remember her hair being that long. I know it's been like a month since a game, but voluntarily watching Everton? It's an odd decision. Temporarily down to 10. That was interesting. I want to go back in time because I guess we had the ball. We smashed it off of her face, and then they get the drop ball from where we kicked it. It turns into almost like a free kick. So we've gone 2 minutes over here, but we've had at least 2 minutes of injury time. So I wouldn't expect it to be much more than 30, 45 seconds more here. but certainly going to have a little extra hangover. Maybe this is the last gasp headed away by Lovett. Lovett coming in as a sub has been rock solid. That was Dickens and I wanted to know who it was because there's the whistle. Whew, breathe. I wanted to know who that was because they came screaming back in defense, and I was really impressed with the hustle at the end of the day. Another 3 points, doesn't matter how you got it. You ended up securing it, and so that'll keep us moving forward, especially if Aberystwyth end up losing this. That really creates an even bigger divide between 1 and 4, which is really what all this first half matters. Is that puts us up to 19 points with a game in hand, and that could leave Aberystwyth at 11 points. I guess Cardiff Met, they're losing 11 points. We'd have a game or 2 in hand and be 9 points up on them on 5th place. This game goes a long way to securing that spot, which then just basically means you're into a dance with TNS, Swansea, and Cardiff City on home and homes. That's a sign of madness. Yes, it is. I've got to run and help get organized for the day here with the kids. I appreciate, John, thank you so much for logging in. Brendan, I probably will connect with you because I want to see if I can find a way to make it such that you can do the polls. Because if I can give you sort of control of the chat, we'll figure that out, and maybe even 1 or 2 more other people. Because then and as I just said, that Aberystwyth comes back and draws even. So still 12 points is not the full 3. Interesting, Scott. And it might be that Humphrey likes him, but then fight for him. I mean, you're the club. You've got all of your stuff. I would love for an opportunity to cross-examine someone. I put the blame on somebody in the office, whether it's a directive of Fleur, whether it's a directive of an overzealous somebody below. It was good to see me. It was good to see you. That almost sounded Borgish too. Is that what the Red Horde has become? It was good to see me. Like we're messing up pronouns and stuff. Yeah, I don't know what Man City's going to get for a punishment. That's going to be fascinating to watch. I do end up having to blast off here. I'm probably will try a couple things. Brandon, I appreciate it. Thanks for the message on the great job. Where did I put that? There it is. And most of the stuff I was happy that I was able to bring this back. I was happy that I was able to clear up the audio issue that we had with Francis the day before. Now that gives me the ability to clean everything up in the background here and do a couple more changes. And I don't think I'm going to worry about the big changes until the summer, but I guess goal videos. A message: if you're out surfing around and you're looking and you find a chant for anybody other than Paul Mullen, Elliot Lee, Ollie Palmer, James McLean, or Jordan Davis, send me a link. Tweet it to me, tweet it at me, highlight it in the comments to this once we shut it down. Whatever, find driver@theredhorde.com. Whatever it is, send it to me and let me know. Because I'm going to try and make some more of those videos so that we've got an opportunity to embrace more of them. All right, I'm going to have to sign out to make sure I get the kids off to what they need to get to. We'll see how it goes. I've got people to talk to. It's going to be a good day. Go Packers, Lions, and USA. I'm not with you on any of that. Vikings fan. John, I think you're at least a Michigan fan. Is that the one? Do I have you there? Because, man, that was just an ugly post. A Bruins fan, obviously an American who supports Green Bay and Detroit in the wild cards. You make it really tough to be your friend, man. Really tough. All right. Have a good one, guys. We'll talk. And Saturday, Newport. And we're back here next weekend with the women. Cheers. Take off. Only one more league game in all of January for the men because they'll have the 2 FA Cup matches. Anyway, have a good one.